Hello YouTubers, welcome to my channel. So happy to be here with you today, and I also want to thank everyone who has signed up for my Patreon. So happy to have this intimate relationship with you guys, sharing things about my past. And what is so interesting is when I look at these pictures, go back in time essentially, and I look at what I was doing when I was an actress in California, or what I was doing when I was living abroad. And it just brings up all these different things about the time and the era that we were living in back then and what was going on in my life. I'm creating a video memory book, and you guys are along and for the ride, and I'm enjoying your comments and reading everything that you have to say about some things that I'm reminiscing about, things that I may not have even thought of. So I want to thank you for that. So today we are going to be talking about a couple of different stories. Also, Friend is here. Mr. Friend is here. Mr. Friend, say hello. Hello there. How are you today?
Fantastic.
Is it quite lovely?
Quite lovely.
I think it is quite lovely, you know.
Indeed.
But it's quite hot. It's very hot here. I don't know if I like it. It's very hot. I don't like it a lot, you know. But I guess it'll do. Just don't want to go mad. Meghan discovered her friends were behind article after publication, documents claim. So she's trying to say she didn't know that her friends went to People magazine about her father, but she realized who it was later. So trying to give herself an out as to, oh, I know who they are. I just didn't know who they were before they went to the magazines. I mean, that is just laughable. Completely laughable. If you think that your friends just got together and said, we're going to go to People magazine. We're going to defend Meghan. We're going to defend Meghan because her father is, he's tripping. And we're going to show them that we need to protect our friend. And we're not going to tell her. We're not going to tell her. We're just going to do it. That is just laughable. It's just kind of like with the side eye. For real, you think we're going to believe that? You crazy. You crazy. We're going to look at you like this, like you crazy. So let's go into the article. The Duchess of Sussex only discovered a friend had spoken to a U.S. magazine to defend her from tabloid bullying during her baby shower, court documents have revealed. 5 of Meghan's friends were interviewed anonymously by People magazine, and one revealed the details of a letter, which is the subject of a legal action brought by the Duchess. A confidant told the American publication about its content. She's like, Daddy, I'm so heartbroken. I love you. I have one father. Please stop victimizing me through the media so we can repair our relationship. Okay, first of all, I don't even know if I said this in another video, but like, who writes their father a handwritten letter in calligraphy style, like handwriting? Who does that? Like, you don't have an email? You don't send an email? You don't have a phone? Like, who's going to sit there and do a handwritten letter? And like emotions, like you're emotional. That just seems like you were writing the letter because you knew you wanted people to read it. You wanted people to read what you were saying because you wanted them to have the inside story. Like, yeah, I'm really nice to my father. I'm going to write, I just love you so much. And Father, how could you do this to me? Saying all these things in this handwritten letter because you want us to see that you're trying to be nice to your father. But we know behind the scenes, like, you don't want nothing to do with your father because he's beneath you. So you doing this handwritten letter is just perpetrating. We can see right through that. I can see it. Can you see it, friend? I mean, she must think we in kindergarten. We've been around. You know what I'm saying? We have been around. We have been at this rodeo before. But we have life experiences. We understand relationships, the psychology of all of this. And we understand what she was trying to do with that handwritten letter. So don't even go there with us. Don't even do that. You're just making yourself look stupid. Meghan is suing Associated Newspapers, publisher of the Mail on Sunday and Mail Online, over articles which featured parts of the private and confidential letter from the Duchess to her estranged father, Thomas Markle. Meghan's lawyers have argued she only knew about her friend's actions after the article was published on February 6 last year. Her legal team has responded to questions from Associated Newspaper's lawyers for further information about when the Duchess discovered the 5 confidants, only identified as A, B, C, D, E, were behind the article. The document submitted to the High Court states the claimant realized friends ABC had given anonymous interviews to People magazine upon learning that the article had been published. Her belief that they had been involved was confirmed during phone calls via FaceTime on the day of publication and the following day. Whew. It's thick, y'all. It is thick. The claimant learned friend D was one of the anonymous sources for the People magazine article on or around February 19th, 2019, when the two of them met in person. She subsequently learned of friend E's involvement a few days later during a celebration with friends to mark the forthcoming birth of her son. This discussion also took place in person. All of these conversations took place post-publication. Meghan was 7 months pregnant with son Archie when she spent several days in New York with A-listers including Amal Clooney and Serena Williams for her baby shower. The former Suits actress celebrated the impending arrival of her child in what was reportedly the most expensive hotel room in the U.S., penthouse suite in the 5-star Mark Hotel, which at the time cost $75 a night. Okay, let's just address that for a second. Now, anybody who wants to relate to the underserved or to people who are less fortunate, who wants to be an advocate, who really wants to be a humanitarian, they would be appalled at spending $75,000 to sleep in a hotel room for one night. Let's just get that straight. So you can tell by someone's actions what kind of person they are because of the choices they make, when she could have clearly stayed in a $200 room night hotel or had the whole floor taken up, for that matter, of a different hotel. But what kind of person justifies spending $75,000 for one night? And it doesn't even matter if she didn't pay for it. Understanding who you are as a humanitarian, you would be sickened by the idea of that much money going to sleep in a room for one night. Truth be told, I would never, ever spend that much money, even if I had it 5 times over to spend, because I see the injustices and I see the disparity that there is between the rich and the poor. And if I'm advocating for people who are less fortunate, why would I do that? That would sit with my conscience like, well, you can't sleep. I would be tossing and turning all night in that room. I would not be able to sleep because it's ridiculous. They maintain Mr. Markle revealed the letter to correct the false impression Meghan's friends had given about his actions in their interview. Earlier this month, the Duchess appealed to the High Court to stop Associated Newspapers from naming her 5 confidants, but a spokesman for the Mail on Sunday said the paper had no intention of identifying the friends, but the question of their anonymity it should be anonymity 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 anonymity. And the word is anonymity. We got anonymity. You see how you can just kind of pick it up when you just learn the word with a beat? The Duchess is seeking damages, which she has said will be donated to an anti-bullying charity.
She's a bully.
Yeah. Of course she is. From Associated Newspapers for alleged misuse of private information, copyright infringement, and breach of Data Protection Act. Associated Newspapers wholly denies the allegations, particularly the claim that the letter was edited in any way that changed its meaning, and says it will contest the case. So we just know there's a bunch of deceit here. There's just a bunch of just trying to come across as one way when you're clearly another way. So you're just trying to hide who you really are as a person, because you go and say that your friends didn't know. Like, we all know. Okay, forget it. We just not that stupid. Meghan Markle's estranged father, Thomas, has been trying to contact the Duchess since her LA move. So Thomas Markle has been trying to get a hold of Meghan. You would think she would have some decency to reach out to her father, considering the man has had a heart attack. He has never met her husband. He's never met her son. So a source told US Weekly on Wednesday that the former Hollywood lighting director who lives in Mexico has been sending letters to the house in hopes it will reach the 38-year-old. However, the insider alleged that despite the 75-year-old's best efforts, his letters remained unopened. You have to ask yourself, why? So Meghan, she's out trying to give all this hope and hope and goodwill to the girls at the Girl Up Summit, but you can't even call your father. Like, you're cheering and rooting those girls on, but you don't even have the decency to reach out to your own father. Human decency would account for the fact that you would try to get a hold of your father. What was so bad that, several years later, she doesn't reach out to him? What has happened in that time? Makes you wonder. Oh, I know what it was. She became a celebrity. She became too big for her britches, and she doesn't want anything to do with him. That is what has happened. The patriarch and the former actress have had a strained relationship since he was caught staging paparazzi photos ahead of her May 20. Okay, so yeah. And I've talked about this before. So she was mad that he took some pictures. So she was like, "Daddy, I'm never going to talk to you again because you were pretending like you were taking those pictures and you really weren't. You were being dishonest in photos." Okay, but wait a minute. Isn't that what she does all the time? When she calls the paparazzi people to come, "Hey, get me. I'm just now leaving the airport. Come take pictures of me." We know she stages her own pictures. Why is it that certain celebrities, we always just kind of catch them when they're out doing stuff and they're out and about, but there's some celebrities you never see them out and about? You know why? It's because they contacted paparazzi to say, "Come take pictures. They're leaving the airport. You're going to catch them." And then they know to come. Think about that. How is it that anyone is able to catch pictures of celebrities doing random things? So they stage it. And I find it so ironic that Meghan Markle is upset with her father for staging pictures. Like, she has completely disowned her father for the very same thing that she actually does all the time. It doesn't make any sense. It's like nonsense. It's like side-eye again. Really? The relationship continued to worsen after Thomas continuously gave interviews where he criticized his daughter as well as the royal family. The source said Markle has been upset and disturbed by the entire ordeal. Yeah, I bet you are upset, Mr. Markle, because your daughter, you see what kind of person she is. And I'm sure you didn't want to raise your daughter to be that way. And I'm sure you are appalled. And I would be too. Because she's just acting like a spoiled brat at this point. And he's like, "What? Who is that girl that married Prince Harry? That ain't my daughter." And so he's speaking out about it because he can't believe it. Well, to me, it just shows you that Mr. Markle's got some sense about him, and he can see as well as you and I that Meghan's behavior is off the chain at this point, because people don't agree with her behavior. People who are in awe of her, they're going to put up with her nonsense because they really like her for whatever reason, there is. They're just going to put up with all the bad things that she does because they just like her. But, your parents, they the first to call you out. You start behaving badly. And Mr. Markle was calling her out for behaving badly. He knows the way she was behaving wasn't right. Wanting to leave the royal family and, complaining about everything, like the queen, called the queen now. Like, the audacity. Spending all this money on clothes. For 2 years, for 2018 and 2019, she spent more money on clothes than all other royals combined. So it's just like she's gone. It's just like a friend of mine. I think I told you guys this before. A friend who took a girl out to the Waffle House, and she's kind of like one of those girls that doesn't get out a lot. And this guy took her out, okay, get whatever you want off the menu, whatever you want. Girl done got up in there, ordered a steak, had ordered all kind of food, didn't know how to act when she could get whatever she wanted and she didn't have to pay for it, right? You start behaving badly when someone says, go get whatever you want. But at some point, you still have to be a little reserved and say, oh, no, I'm sorry. I don't want to spend that much money. That's too much. Sorry. You don't take advantage of people like that. You have to have some kind of, what's the word, couth? Or you have to have some kind of moral high ground where you just don't completely take advantage. If someone's taking you out for dinner, you're just going to order the most expensive thing on the menu. I mean, we know you can, but got up in the royal family, it was like, hey, is that the right thing to do? So just the whole idea of her stepping back from the royal family, making all of these demands, her behavior towards the queen, her father didn't like that. And I think him calling her out shows his character, that he is, just because it's my daughter and I have an estranged relationship with her, I'm still going to call out her bad behavior. And I think he was very right to do that. Because at the end of the day, you strip all that nonsense away from her, she's still the girl that he raised, and she should know better. It just seems so unfortunate that you come into a different lifestyle and then suddenly you change so much as a person that you can't even have a relationship with the people who are supposed to be the closest to you. Looking at Meghan now and all the celebrity and money and notoriety that she has gained, and to see her behaving this way with the way her life has changed, it just really should give people real good insight into her as a person. Like, her character is really flawed, because she's allowed this superficial stuff of fame and money and all these things that shouldn't really be that relevant, but she's allowed that stuff to be relevant, more relevant, high relevance. We know you're always around because it's the theme of everything, I know. But to allow that to dictate the relationship that you have with your father, somebody who you have always shown such admiration for, to allow that to come between you and your relationship with your father, it just says so much deep down inside about how you've allowed this superficial stuff to go to your head and to become more than the good things in life that really are free. Your relationship with your father. And to see that affect her like this clearly shows anything that she does on a humanitarian level, anything that she decides to do on a humanitarian level, is smack dab just downright not real. It's perpetrating, because we've seen her true character. We've seen how she behaves with her own blood. And when you allow this superficial lifestyle to be so much more relevant and so much more important than what is free in life, or what should have the most meaning to you, then you are just on another playing level that I know that you're just not a real person. Do you agree, Mr. Friend?
Well, you also have to ask yourself, what kind of relationship did she really have with her father growing up? Because anybody that had a good relationship with their parent would never treat their parent like that, no matter what kind of...
I beg to differ, because she has treated people who she's had good relationships with her whole life bad. She's gotten rid of friends. Mm-hmm. She has gotten rid of essentially every person in her life.
So she's just a bad person.
She's just a bad person. She is of the mindset that she's stepping into a life that is so much higher than the people in her past.
So people are beneath her.
They're beneath her. Exactly. They're beneath her. So, and some people are just like, they will get rid of you and keep it moving because they just want a certain kind of life. And if you're not contributing to that life, They didn't want nothing to do with you. Like, her relationship with her father doesn't really mean anything now because she has hit the pinnacle of where she wants to be. And next is president. She wants to be president, which is so laughable. I can even hardly even say it. President, for real.